Welcome, friends.
Hello, everyone. We're glad you could join us today. It's a springy day here, and it shouldn't be quite as springy as it is. This
a
is
little
February. But this is our false spring, we call it. It's the time when we have that winter thaw, and I look out and I see the crocus are up, the daffodils are up.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And it makes me wonder if we really are going to have a spring that sticks around.
Right.
Or not. And
Yeah.
if that's the case, I probably could take the 2 weeks of brutal cold that we had in January.
For an early spring.
For an early spring.
Yeah.
However, I know we do need to have a little bit more cold and snow possibly too, to finish through the winter and get into a really good spring where the
Yeah.
plants have their moisture and everything else.
It is exciting, though, to think about the spring flowers coming up and getting ready to bloom, and that whole cycle begins again
Yes,
with the
it
rebirth of
does.
spring.
When we had a really pretty day this last week, and it hit almost 70 here. So I decided to get out and sit on the front porch for a little rocking chair therapy. And that's always a good thing.
Yes.
And I sat out there and I listened and felt like I could feel and hear Mother Earth heaving and breathing and stretching and knowing that the spring is right around the corner.
Yes.
And so it was a good feeling, and to absorb a little bit of the sunshine too.
Yeah. The sunshine really helps me to feel more invigorated.
Yes.
I get a lot more done in my day when the sun is shining. I feel energized.
I think we all do, but it's
For
good to
sure.
have a rainy day or a snowy day in
Oh, yeah.
between where we can sit and read and
Yes.
yes, replenish the soul.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Rest is important
It
too.
is. I just had a birthday.
Yes, happy
And
birthday.
It is. I'm celebrating all week, all month. It's just one of those things that when you get to a certain age, that's what you do.
It's important to do at any age, I think.
It is. Well, it is. And I feel blessed to be around every day and to get to enjoy everything that is around me. And one of the rituals I have, and I've had it for a long time, and that is on my birthday, I like to, if the weather cooperates, of course, I like to go out and cut a few sprigs of my forsythia bush. And I do have 5 forsythia bushes in different areas on my property. And so they can spare a few branches for me. And then I force those to bloom by bringing them in early and putting them in the water. And they're so pretty when, and within a week and a half, they'll be blooming. And so it's just another bloom that I have in the months of winter.
I love that.
It
That's a
is, too.
great ritual.
It is, and one of my other rituals is, and I really have tried to instill it in lots of people because it has meant a lot to me, and I think it will down the road to many people, and that is that you write a yearly summary. So what happened between your last birthday to this birthday? And every year record it, write the date on it and such, and write a few messages in there to yourself and what's happening in your life and how life is at this point in time, your feelings.
I love that.
And it's just doing it once a year, so really no one has an excuse not to do that one. And it is something I believe that is important to do.
That's wonderful. The years. Once you get to a certain age too, you realize how quickly the years roll by and how things tend to blend together, and you
Yes.
forget things. And that's a great way to have a record of your year and something to remind you
is.
about what happened each year that
Yes.
was important to you.
I look in the mirror and I go, how did I get here so quick? It happened very quickly, and as it does to everyone, but we just
Yeah.
don't realize it. When we're younger, the days just kind of move slowly, and now as we're older, they move very quickly.
Yeah, that's true. I've read about time being described as like a spiral, so that when you're really young, the spirals are, I guess it starts out long, so the spirals are long, but as you get in each
spiral
year,
down.
the spirals down, and each year does seem shorter because it's relative to the amount of time that you've been alive. And so I think that's an interesting way to think about time,
It
and
is.
it explains, I think, a little bit about how, when we're kids, summer lasts forever, and when we're adults at this age, boom, it's gone.
Every day
Yeah.
it goes very quickly.
It does.
Yes. Well, Valentine's Day is coming.
It is.
As it does every year. And we do have some fabric hearts that are made and put here in the shop, and they're very pretty. Some old laces and old white embroideries, so they're very pretty, and it might be something you'd like to pick up and have as decoration out on your table or wherever. And I think hearts are always good laid out wherever.
Oh, yeah, I love hearts who represent love, and I know Valentine's Day is very commercialized, But really, we like to think about it as a celebration of love, all kinds of love, not just romantic love, but I love my mom, I
Yes.
love my friends,
Yes.
and to celebrate,
do.
to celebrate that love and those relationships that we value,
And
that we cherish.
we're sending our love out to you.
Yes, and
Also,
you, our friends, thank
We're
you.
very thankful to have you in our life.
Very much so.
I'd like to share a heart runner that I made many years ago, in fact, and I keep it on a bench in my home. And this is it. It's a long Maggie runner. We call it Maggie Runner of Hearts because it's a Maggie pattern. She's very famous for these wonderful heart patterns, and I just love it.
That is just beautiful.
Something I enjoy, and something that I did make. So
I love that. This is great.
one of the other things I'd like to share, and we got in at the shop, and Tamara has read it. No, you didn't read it. You listened to it.
I listened to it on Audible. I listened to the author. The author is, it's Love, Nature, Magic, and the author is Maria Rodell. You probably have heard of the Rodell Publishing. They're the ones who started doing really health-oriented and garden-oriented publishing early on, and she's the granddaughter of the people who started that.
Yes.
So she's the one who wrote the book.
Yes. So I read it and you listened to it, and it is a different way of looking at the negative in your garden and turning it into a positive. So many times we have weeds that grow in our gardens, and we sometimes wonder why they're there, but we want to find out the good attributes of some of them. She has a different way of looking at it, and I really enjoyed what she had in here. So this is a good book, and we carry it at the shop right now.
Yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed it because
Yes.
it was something I really enjoyed. Of course, Audible, she read it, and so it was really fun to
Yes.
listen to the author
Yes.
read it, and her kind of shamanic journeying with each of the plants and even creatures in her garden to
Yes.
really get to know them a little bit better, and it really gave me a different perspective on some of the plants that grow out here and some of the other creatures too that live out here that we don't always appreciate.
So what have you been working on?
So I've been
this
working on you might remember me talking about the Love Your Heart bitters that we created. It's something new that we want to carry in the shop. We wanted to have it ready just about Valentine's Day, and so we've been working on straining that and bottling that. This Love Your Heart bitters is something that we created to be helpful not only for digestion, because bitters are wonderful for digestion, but also to be heart supportive. So there are many different ingredients that we put in here, including hawthorn and motherwort and dandelion and bitter melon and burdock and orange and lots of other things as well. And I want to just talk a little bit about hawthorn. I know we've talked about hawthorn before, but in the month of February, it's a really appropriate herb to talk about because it really is a heart herb. It's loaded with antioxidants, it's anti-inflammatory. It's been shown to even help lower blood pressure. And I always think it's interesting to think about how it works in Chinese medicine. It's been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. And in Chinese medicine, the heart is what they call the earthen vessel that holds our shen, which is our individual spirit. And when our heart is disturbed, our shen, our spirit, is also, and that can result in restlessness, anxiety, insomnia. And so hawthorn is also useful for those things as well. Hawthorn is an herb that also helps with healthy aging and resiliency. It's the herb of healthy hearts. It's a cardiotonic, and it helps to strengthen and support our heart function and helps to bring balance to our heart. And it's also actually considered helpful for ADD and connective tissue disorders. Taking bitters as a daily tonic, basically, is what we like to do. Take bitters about 20 minutes before we eat. That really helps to activate the digestive system. It helps your body to digest foods more. I had gallbladder surgery over the holidays, and so I've really stepped up my game with my bitters. I'm making sure that I'm taking my bitters 20 minutes before I eat. It helps your digestive system to release bile so that you can digest particularly your fats. And of course, the gallbladder is the storage vessel for the bile. So if you have your gallbladder taken out, you don't have that storage vessel for your bile any longer. So stimulating the liver to release bile before you eat is something that can be helpful. And it's been really good for me, and I really love bitters, and I'm so excited about these Love Your Heart bitters.
So they're on the store shelves.
They are,
now.
yes.
And so for those of you who live in the area, we are open this weekend.
Yes,
And,
the first 3 Fridays and Saturdays.
Yes, and so we appreciate you watching today, and we hope you'll comment and like us on here so we can continue doing this. And
Please, that helps us a lot.
it does. And I would like to close with a quote by John Lennon, appropriate for February, and it's from the February chapter. It says, "It matters not who you love, where you love, why you love, or how you love. It only matters that you love." So true.
Yes.
I
I love that too.
It's always been a favorite of mine.
I think they had a song too. All you
Yes.
need is love, right?
Yes. So, with that, we'll plan to see you next week.
Good earth blessings to you.